A breakthrough finally came when the McCormicks heard about a professor at the University of Wisconsin who was studying other Eastern European orphans with emotional problems just like Alex's.
You can go right in here, have a seat right over here.
When we talked with Alex about participating in this study, I felt that he would probably either be indifferent to it or that he would maybe not want to do it. And he amazed me.
There's going to be a lot more kids like me in the future, and I wanted people to know how to treat them perfectly. Like, not perfectly, but treat them better. Like, see, I had a harder life, but I want those other kids to have an easier life. Oops.
Dr. Seth Pollack, the psychologist behind this study, believes the problems that children like Alex face, problems relating to others, problems regulating their emotions, even problems interpreting other people's facial expressions, are the result of attachment gone wrong.
These are children being raised in ways that are just not typical for our species in terms of mass care, lack of that real interpersonal caregiving that one expects between a caregiver and a child.
For much of the 1990s, toddlers in Russian orphanages spent most of their time alone in a crib. Because the overworked nurses were each responsible for 15 to 20 children, they didn't have time to do more than feed the children and change their diapers. When the children cried, they were simply ignored.
The child is learning that other people are not there for you, that people won't protect you and comfort you, that if you want to be calmed, maybe you had better find a way to do it yourself. And if these are the basic building blocks that a child is starting to learn very early in life, then it becomes easy to see how that kind of learning experience will lead to social and emotional problems later.
Pollack's research builds on work that began in the 1940s, when psychologists noticed that children who were raised in orphanages often developed emotional problems. Given that these children had all of their physical needs met, what exactly was it that they weren't getting? In a now famous experiment, psychologist Harry Harlow took newborn rhesus monkeys away from their mothers and allowed them to choose between two artificial mothers. One made of wire provided food but no comfort. The other, covered in cloth, provided some comfort but no food. Time and again, the baby monkeys chose the cloth mother over the wire mother, suggesting that even a little bit of soft comfort was more important to them than food.
And this simple, basic reaction made us believe that we could define and measure what had previously been undefinable and unmeasurable, the baby's love for its mother.
As the monkeys who'd been taken from their mothers grew up, Harlow noticed something else. The monkeys experienced a wide range of social and emotional problems, from aggressive outbursts to uncontrollable fear, all because they hadn't been loved. It was a dramatic experiment, in many ways an awful experiment. I've seen this film 100 times, and every time I see it, I think, my God, this is torture. But that was exactly Harlow's point. Harlow wanted to show that you could take care of a monkey's every physical need, but if you deprived it of love, you could destroy its life.
If not for that early research on monkeys and their need for love and comfort, I don't think we ever would have framed questions about why some of the children coming out of these institutions are having the kinds of problems that they did. The lesson that I think we've learned is that it's not just about food, shelter, water, that a basic need for human beings is love, is companionship, are close relationships.
Harlow's experiments showed that a failure to bond has dire consequences. But how exactly does this happen? Dr. Pollack believes the answer has something to do with a brain chemical called oxytocin, which researchers recently learned plays an important role in social relationships.
Oxytocin was identified as being a hormone that helps with the formation of attachments, that is a hormone that allows the brain to form close relationships and allows an individual to feel a sense of calm and comfort when close to somebody that they care for.
To investigate this hypothesis, Pollack tested 2 groups of 4-year-old children. One group raised by biological parents, and another made up of adopted children who'd spent an average of 16 months in an Eastern European orphanage.
Touch the face that shows how the little boy is feeling.
It looks like happy.
Both groups were asked to play a computer game. But the game wasn't the real point. What Pollack wanted to know was how the children responded to the comfort and care of their parent. Pollack measured the amount of oxytocin in the child's body before and after the test. Among children who were raised by their biological parents, oxytocin levels shot up. But the children who were raised in orphanages showed no oxytocin increase at all.
The kids with the early neglect never showed the oxytocin release even with their mom. So it's something that should have resulted in an increase in oxytocin, physical comforting from a parent, did not.
That's you. You choose one for mommy.
Choose one for me?
And put it on.
There are many reasons why children who've been neglected as babies find it hard to form secure relationships as adults. But Dr. Pollack's results seem to identify one of the biological mechanisms underlying the problem.
The key behind the oxytocin, and this is just my speculation, is it's about reward. Love could be a lot like a drug. It's something that we crave, and when we take it, it results in pleasurable, rewarding feeling. If being close to someone doesn't have that rewarding value, it's not going to have the same meaning. And so I think the big question to ask here is, when your early relationships have been disrupted, do social relationships have the same reward?
These studies suggest that a child's brain is, to some extent, molded by love. That we are, in a very real sense, wired to connect.